Okay, here's a couple of stones that have different types of inclusions in them. This is an Izu, and this particular Izu has some holes in it, and some of the holes are filled with some sandy material. And so this sandy stuff will mess up your polish if that's what you're going for. It's basically a different abrasive quality than the other material in the stone. So instead of giving a nice even finish, it will either leave shiny streaks or deeper scratches or whatever, just because it's a different like grit rating essentially than the rest of the material in the stone. Sometimes there's holes that don't have nothing in them, and those aren't toxic. And by toxic, that's all I mean is it's different than what you expect. So when you do have stones like this, sometimes you can go through and pick them out and clean them up and get rid of those, and then the stone will just behave like normal. And some stones are worse than others. This is a Suita, and some of these lines are non-toxic, they don't do anything, but these two shiny ones in the middle are actually pretty toxic for razor edges or for polishing. If I'm just doing knife sharpening, it doesn't really matter. But if I'm going to try to use this on razors or for polishing, then I'll go through with a nail, not usually my thermometer, this is just what I have laid around, but go through with a nail and you can scratch that bit out down, just a little bit below the surface of the stone, so that when you're polishing, that bit isn't scratching up your finish. Other stones sometimes will have, and those two are the only ones that are toxic or whatever in this particular stone. These other ones, you don't notice them in sharpening. And some other stones will have inclusions too. This is a caudicle that has a manganese inclusion through it here. Basically the blue has bled through to the yellow side. And those are typically non-toxic. There could also be blue spots, but that's generally non-toxic. And this is a weird old Arkansas stone. You'll see this in novaculite types of stones sometimes, where there will be different cracks and changes in the material. And like if you were trying to sharpen on this side, that crack is toxic. It would scratch up your knife finish. It would mess up your razor blade. But these ones on this side, there's no difference in material. You can't get your fingernail to catch on it at all. They don't affect the response of the stone whatsoever. It's just cosmetic. So there you go. There's a couple examples of toxic lines, non-toxic lines, and toxic holes, non-toxic holes. It just has to do with the abrasive being different than what you expect and different than the rest of the material that's surrounding it. And we're trying to get a nice uniform even polish. That's not what you want, so we call it toxic.